Manchester United's transfer window has been sort of a very laughable one so far in summer of 2026. From having a very wonderful summer in 2025, having a 4/4 summer transfer window that when there was no European competition, down to coming to 2026 where you need to fix a midfield that has been problematic and a midfield that is almost scanty with a possible purchase of 3 midfielders, and so far it has been ups and downs and no tangible names have been signed so far. This is Manchester United's transfer roundup in the midfield and every backstory from the midfield situation of Manchester United. If you are coming across this channel for the very first time, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow us, and equally engage on our posts as we will be bringing to you everything about football, football transfer rumors, and every other analysis. So here are things you need to know about Manchester United transfer window and midfield precisely. So going from Ederson down to going from possibility of signing Anderson as the marquee signing, down to Sandro Tonali, down to Tchouaméni, down to Mateus Fernandes, all of them gone like the winds. They have been blown away like the winds. It's been so problematic, and should I say so difficult for Manchester United to replace Casemiro so far in the transfer window. And now we have Ederson, whose transfer is hanging on a possibility of being called off, and we have Andrey Santos, who has already completed his medicals and subject to being announced as Manchester United's new midfielder. So currently and officially, the only midfielders that Manchester United will be having probably before the end of today will be Kobe Mainoo and Andrey Santos, and probably the injured Manu Koné. Looking at Andrey Santos, let's really look at his profile and the backstory to his signing. So for me, I believe that the backstory to the signing of Andrey Santos is the missing out on Mateus Fernandes, because looking at the both of them, they look almost alike. They look like a similar profile, and I believe that signing Andrey Santos is a more important signing than Mateus Fernandes. Why did I say so? Andrey Santos look more like a number 6, although he can equally play as a number 8, but he look more like a number 6. The way he tackles, the way he breaks play, the way he's always there to tackle, and he crashes the box late. So meaning that he is not that box-to-box midfielder, regular box-to-box midfielder that is always entering the box. He is that number 6 who sits deep and comes into the box late when other players are already there. And looking at his profile further, you will see him as, you can call him a deep line playmaker. Yes, a deep line playmaker that loves to tackle. He has those tackles in him. And he's being touted as the next Casemiro, the replacement for Casemiro in the Brazilian national team. So for me, signing of Andrey Santos over Mateus Fernandes is a very smart move. And if he can replicate that form that he had at Strasbourg, at Manchester United, with the run of games that he will probably get at Manchester United, then we are good. We are very good. We have made a very wonderful signing for just £48 million. So outside that, what is holding Ederson's deal? Why has Ederson not been confirmed Manchester United player? See, Ederson, I dig deep into Ederson and I saw a couple of things about him. Though he hasn't been an injury-prone player, but last season he missed about 10 games through injury, a meniscus injury to be precise. And this injury has two treatments, either a long-term treatment, which is a more natural treatment that will allow his meniscus to heal properly and naturally, or go through the shorter term own, which might affect him later in his career. So Manchester United wants to take their time, examine him so well, properly, and be sure that that injury is not going to reoccur again or come out to being a problem for Manchester United again. Remember the last time we signed a player from Atalanta, that was Højlund a couple of years back. He came with a back injury. Even after the medicals, he came with a back injury that kept him out for a couple of weeks, ranging to up to a month, even. So that is why Ederson deal has been hanging on the balance. And the way I'm seeing that deal, it might collapse. It might actually collapse. So for me, here brings Manu Koné. So Manu Koné is a very good midfielder who plays for AS Roma, who must have been watching him at the World Cup so far. Not just at the World Cup, even at his club, he does very okay at his club. So, and I saw something about his injury record. And last season he had, I think he missed about 73 days or 78 days through injury last season. And that had been his longest layout through injury. 2 seasons ago, I think he missed only one game or so. Then even the previous one before that one, he missed a very few games, whether one or two games. So last season had been his injury nightmare. He had injury nightmares last season, but it hasn't been something that has been happening every season. But looking at him as a footballer, that guy is a very, very wonderful footballer. That guy is a player who replaces Tchouaméni in the France national team, and you don't see any difference. It's just as if Tchouaméni is still there, or even a more advanced, because the way he carries the ball and moves forward, even he has some flares to his game, he has some dribbles. It will be giving you vibes of Paul Pogba. So if Manchester United should sign that Manu Koné over Ederson, I don't have a problem. Honestly, I don't have a problem. It will be a very, very smart move, and you can get him for I think below 15 million euros, because he's not a Premier League player. Assuming he's a Premier League player, he'll be counting on 85 million pounds. For this one, 15 million euros or even less. Even that amount that we put in for Ederson should be enough to sign in him. So that is for Manu Koné. Then we have the Matthew signing that was promised and has never been fulfilled. And if you look at the markets now, the market is now narrow. The midfield market is now so narrow, super, super narrow, that there is no Matthew name. There is no possibility of Manchester United signing a Matthew name this summer transfer window. You have names like Boadi, who just performed at the World Cup in a game or two, and he has a ridiculous price tag on him at just 18 years. He has a ridiculous price tag of 100 million euros by Lille, which is so crazy, super crazy. I won't be buying that. I won't even be going into that. Judging by like the euro that we signed from that same club at about a fee that can rise up to 62 million euros, and up until now, Euro is still trying to find his foot. He hasn't been that player that we envisaged him to be so far. So I wouldn't be going in for Ayob Boadi. I wouldn't. I would actually jump and pass that temptation of signing him. So after him, you have Sandro Tonali is already gone. A lot of other names are already gone. Tchouaméni has signed a new contract at Real Madrid. So we are now short of options. Maybe going back to Carlos Baleba, who is still there waiting patiently for Manchester United. He has personal terms agreed last season. So last summer, he's still there. He's still on the table. He's still fresh. It's just for Manchester United to go on, agree fee with Brighton, sign him in. But would you take Carlos Baleba at Manchester United at this rate, judging by what he did last season, judging by the way he performed poorly last season? For me, I have one theory about any player that should join Manchester United. Firstly, okay, let me say two. Firstly, the player would have the desire to join, which Carlos Baleba has expressed. He wants to join Manchester United. Even he communicates with a lot of Manchester United players behind the scene. But secondly is the mentality. Because joining Manchester United is not just about the club, it's about a whole lot. At Manchester United, you will be criticized, you will be scrutinized by a whole lot of people, a whole lot of legends, people that are sitting behind the cameras and be talking a whole lot of things. People that during their football playing career days, they didn't even play very well. They were so poor as footballers. Even some tried themselves in coaching, and they were more than terrible in coaching. People like Paul Scholes, people like Gary Neville, people like Roy Keane, they will criticize you heavily. So at that, when you get those critics, how do you react to them? That is very, very important. If your mentality isn't strong, you cannot sustain those criticisms that will be coming from all these men. And Carlos Baleba has shown that he doesn't have that strong mentality. To me, that's how I see him. Last summer, he was so close to getting his dream move to Manchester United, which I was happy that it didn't happen, because assuming it happened, it would have been a ridiculous thing, and we wouldn't have seen this part of his game. Yes. So after that, he went on a run of poor form throughout the season. just a few good games. A lot of times he was hooked up at halftime. A lot of times he started on the bench. So with all those things coming into play, I don't see him as a player that has a very strong mentality to withstand all the scrutiny that will come to him as a Manchester United player. So that being said, let's move over to Alex Scott. Alex Scott for me is more of a number 8 than a number 6. Yes, right now we need a proper number 6, not a number 8. We've signed we are probably going to sign Ederson, if at all. Even Santos can play as a number 6 and equally as a number 8. But we need a proper DM. Like, not a project like Santos. Santos is a project. He's a player that he can come good, he might still not come good, yes. But we need a player that will hit the ground running immediately. A player that will come in and fill those boots of Casemiro. And filling those boots of Casemiro, let me remind you guys something. Casemiro, before he left Manchester United, his legs were gone. His defensive attributes that he showed at Real Madrid, they didn't come with him at Manchester United fully, because he was already getting old. Age was already catching up on him. So apart from, if you remove those goals that Casemiro scored last season from his play, then you would see that he didn't really contribute a whole lot as he should have as a DM. So we need players that can come in and even not just replace him, but be better than him, offer more than he offered. So who are those players? Is it Alex Scott? Is it Carlos Baleba? It's so scared. It's so scary rather. So these are things that have been going on in Manchester United's midfield so far, and it looks like I'm forgetting a name. I'm trying to remember. So let's see how these guys sort out these problems. If they are still going all out to signing a proper DM for the club, or if Ederson will retain his signing his dream move to Manchester United after his medicals, his second round of his medicals this week, or if we are going for Manu Koné. Manu Koné is a very good option, but I don't want to decide for the club. I don't want to decide. Christian Avivu knows his job, and I believe Jason Wilcox should know his job, in as much as I'm not really confident with what they have done so far, because you can't tell me that I will be pulling up at the Champions League night, on a Champions League night against Barcelona or against Real Madrid. They are pulling up with their midfielders, with Tchouaméni, with Valverde, with Frankie de Jong, with a whole lot of them, and I'll be pulling up with Ederson or Andrey Santos and Kudineni. It's super crazy. I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to believe that that already happened. They're looking at Manchester United, they're looking at Premier League. You have even Arsenal trying to bring in Bruno Guimaraes to come and pair with Declan Rice. How do you think that midfield will be? Do you think you can penetrate through that midfield? They will dominate games. A whole lot of games. And you go away to Manchester City, your direct rivals. You have Elliot Anderson there. You have Rodri, the Ballon d'Or Rodri. You go to Chelsea, they have Caicedo. They have Enzo Fernandez. You go to maybe Liverpool are weak. You go to Tottenham, who are moving like title contenders. You have Sandro Tonali there. You have Mateus Fernandes. So I don't really want to deliberate on, or I don't really want to accept that our midfield business will be finished soon, because we have a long way to go. So these are the things that I had to bring to you about concerning Manchester United midfield. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which midfielder do you think Manchester United should be going after? By all means, and signing. And don't forget to subscribe. If you've watched up until this moment, thank you so much for supporting and for sticking around, and see you on the next one.